guys, Nikki Wood here. Today I'm going to talk with you a little bit about how you can better connect with your tarot deck. This is a question I think a lot of people have, especially when they're at the beginning of things and they're learning to work with their cards, which is already kind of overwhelming because there's a big 78 card deck. But when you watch other readers too, there's almost this kind of personal connection that they have with it. And as you're looking at that, you're like, well, how do I get that? I want that. And it's a couple of different things that you can do. The first thing I would say is you need to pick a deck that really resonates with you, that you feel connected with. If you're working with something that you just kind of it's like if you want, if you really want pizza for lunch and all you can get is salad, yeah, the salad's okay and it's healthy and everything, but it's just still a little disappointing. You really wanted the pizza. So get the tarot deck that is your pizza. You want the one that feels good to you. Because that feeling, it's like an energetic connection, whether you realize it or not. So you're already resonating on one level with your deck if you feel something about it, that you want to have it and use it and work with it. So that's the first thing. The second thing that I would say with your deck is you have to use it a lot. The more you use it and spend time with it and put your energy on it and shuffle and work with it, it's going to kind of form a connection to you. It's really weird. It's kind of like forming a friendship with somebody new for the first time. It's awkward a little bit at first, and then you get to know each other and you have all this stuff in common. And at the end of it, 16 years down the line, you're finishing each other's sentences. Now, it won't take that long for you to learn the tarot deck by any means, but just as an example so you know what I'm talking about. So you have to really work with your deck, and that connection is really important. Some people like to sleep with it. Some people take it everywhere with them. Whatever it is, because at the end of this, you should feel like that deck isn't just a deck of cards. That's your friend. That's your helper. That's your oracle. That's kind of just, it's almost like a piece of who you are, sort of. And it's going to be a really cool connection if you can just work with it and spend time. The other last thing I will say to you, if you want to form a connection with your cards, it goes along the lines of working with your cards. Because the tarot cards are full of secrets, and over time, they kind of reveal themselves to you more and more. So the more time you spend with them, the more you're going to learn. And the cool thing at the end of it, where you really start forming the connections, and I mentioned this at the end because you're going to have to do all these other things first. Once you start working with it, they kind of will show you different meanings for the cards, and they might not be a meaning that resonates with what the actual definition is. It's a meaning that's specific to you. Now, the way that this would occur is if you look at it and the card is kind of just letting you know, the vibration of the card's coming off, it's like, oh, this is a card of somebody who's a player. This is a card of a guy who's a player. This card, when you look at it, you just feel like Hawaii for some reason, and that's your Hawaii card. There's different things that come up for you and for every reader individually. That their deck shows them. So I think it's important, if you want that connection, when you work with it, be aware of those things. Don't go by the book all the time. Go by the book at first, right? So if you know the rules, you can learn how to break them properly. And the tarot will show you these things over time. So you'll have this really cool connection with your deck that nobody else is going to have. And that's a really good thing too, because I think sometimes too, when you're new, or you're not experienced enough yet, and you read for another reader, people get really freaked out. But here's the thing. Your definitions for how you read are not going to be the same as that other person. So you don't have to be nervous or intimidated. Read what you see. And those connections that you already have with your deck are what are going to give you that confidence to do that as well. So these are just some different ways that you can learn to be a little bit more connected to your deck. Also, too, I would like to mention that if you want to, it's always nice to sage your cards off from time to time to clean them. Some people do with crystals, but these are your friends. Take good care of them. So make sure that they're always, kept in a nice place. Don't throw them all over the place. Make sure they have a nice home. Take care of them, and they will take care of you. So hopefully all that information has been helpful today. If you do have any questions or would like any more information, please let me know. I'm always looking for more ideas for videos and things that you guys want to see. So thank you so much for joining me. Until next time, have a beautiful day.